Hey, how's everybody doing this fine Friday night? Welcome back to the Hooligan Alley Hangout. This is JW Sims here after my week gone on my hiatus. Just needed a refresh for a week. Had some medical things going on and just needed to recharge. Katrina is not with us tonight. She decided to go to a baseball game instead of joining us here. So we will have to try to make do without her tonight. But we do have some guests with us. Geoff. My brain just went 5,000 ways at once. But we have Geoff Weber with us and his book Bug Hunt. So I'm going to bring Geoff on in a second because I'm getting 5,000 messages all at one time. So let me just. Let me see. I got comments going. Everything's blowing up. Okay, but let's bring Geoff on. Hey, Geoff, I was just like going crazy here. I was getting right when the show started. My phone's going off. We lost Casey. I think he was messaging me.
I guess he'll be back in soon.
Yeah, he said there's something wrong with his router. Going to try something else, he said. So until he gets back, we have my nephew Matthew's watching. Hey, Matt, and there's Rich. Rich is a 4-timer. He's in the 4-timers club. He's been a guest 4 times. How you doing, Rich?
Hey, Rich.
But I don't know. I usually start out here with some news stories from the week. If my phone will quit going crazy, I thought I turned the volume down, but I don't know what's going on. So I'm just going to turn it all the way down. My phone is deciding to ruin it. But I got a couple of things that we wanted to talk about as soon as I'm just all over the place tonight. This is why I need Katrina, because she takes care of all this. I don't know what that is. But anyways, our first thing I wanted to talk about was Night of the Animated Dead. Now, I just seen this week that they had taken, I guess, George Romero's original script, and they've made an animated movie out of this. It actually comes out in streaming next month on September 21st. There's some actually, well-known people. Josh Duhamel, or however you pronounce his name, he's in it. Katie Sackhoff's in it. Will Sasso, which I don't know if he's a big name, but I recognize his name. But, is the zombie thing still a thing?
I guess so. It's this is not even the first new zombie thing I've heard of this year. There's been a few this year, haven't there?
I don't know. It just seems like that. It went out a few years. At least I thought Walking Dead is, it's gone into its last season because everyone quit watching it 5 seasons ago. I just seems like it's an odd time to come out with a new zombie movie or whatever. I'm not.
Maybe it's come back around again.
Maybe Walking Dead's been out so long that they're coming back. But those who are interested in it, will be streaming on September 21st. From what I read, it's his original script. So there's some parts from the animated movie that didn't make it into the original, whatever year that original movie came out.
1969, maybe?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was black and white. That's all I remember. It was filmed near my house.
Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, that's the highlight of this area.
Coming for you, Barbara.
Barbara. Yeah, so there's that. I'm just making sure. And then the next thing that I had, I don't know, do you remember the movie Chronicle from back in 2012?
Yeah,
well,
Josh Trank.
Yes. Before that Fantastic Four.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So Chronicle 2 is still alive at 20th Century Studios. I have read some conflicting things. I know that Trank isn't connected to it anymore. It's completely somebody else. I've read things that they're doing like an all-female cast this time,
Okay.
but I don't understand why. I mean, the first movie you figure, that was Michael B. Jordan came out of that, the kid who played Harry Osborn in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I can't remember his name. That weird-looking guy.
Max Landis wrote it.
Yeah, and he's like gotten some like trouble, so he ain't going to be doing it either. So
he got me too.
Yeah, so it's like serious. Is that like still a thing? Like, it was an interesting movie when it came out. I guess it made a lot of money.
I liked it actually. I thought I thought it was pretty cool. I liked the whole found footage, but with like superpowers.
Yeah,
I thought it was good.
Yeah, and it was. They said it was. I think we have Casey Torrence. Hopefully, he's able to come back. Or Casey Torrence Allen. I'm sorry. We'll add Casey. All right, Casey, how you doing? Can you hear us this time?
Hey, I'm good. Yeah, sorry about that, man. Internet was being wonky, but I think I'm good now.
I understand. 2 weeks ago when I was doing the show, I got kicked out of my own show, so they had to carry it on while I was like trying to come back onto my own show. So, but we were talking about some of the news that I've just picked up over the week, and the one that we're talking about now is Chronicle 2. I don't know if you remember the original one from 2012
with the guy that screwed up the Fantastic Four.
Yes,
yes,
yeah. So they're I guess that sequel is still alive at 20th Century Studios, and he is no longer attached to it. The writer is not attached to it.
And
I've heard
that kid turned into just like a mega douche.
Yeah, and Michael B. Jordan was in the movie as well.
Yeah, he was like the one good thing out of the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I never saw Fan Fort Stick, but
yeah, Fan Four Stick.
But I heard bad things about it. But I didn't think the idea of approaching it as a body horror. I mean, it's kind of an interesting take.
Yeah.
Speaking of body horror, like it showed a nude thing, and it was like a Ken doll, and no wonder he was so bitter. I felt so bad for Thing, man.
Yeah. But so I don't know who asked them to make a sequel. I've heard rumors it's an all-female cast that they're trying to do it with. I just know that it made lots of money. They said it grossed like $126 billion something, and it only cost $12 million to make.
Yeah, pretty low, relatively low budget. So,
yeah,
surprise.
So they made a lot of money off of it. So they want to try to milk that cow as much as they can. So we'll see. Another story I had come across is if you know that they're making a Wednesday Addams show for Netflix.
Nice.
They cast Luis Guzman as Gomez Addams, and I had to look this guy up. Once I saw his picture.
Oh, he's been in everything.
Yeah, it's funny. He's literally been in everything.
He's in Boogie Nights. And
yeah.
What was the it's the one is about the French Revolution. They screw this guy over and they put him in jail, and then he comes back.
What's that?
No, not that one.
That sounded like
it was like a revenge story. It was like the classic revenge story, and I cannot think of it right now. Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh yes,
he was in that. He played like the Count of Monte Cristo's like second hand, like his dude.
Okay,
so good. That I love that movie.
He had a guest spot on Community where they build a statue to him because he's the most famous graduate from Green Bay.
There's Grant there. Grant likes my hat because he's also a Pittsburgher. So he said, love the hat. You missed our first story there, Casey. I read that they have an animated. It's Night of the Animated Dead that's coming out next month on streaming.
Oh,
it's George Romero's original script. They turned into an animated movie. So there's parts that are, not in the original movie that's in the animated thing. So and that comes out, like I said, the 21st of next month on DVD, October 5th. And Jerry said zombies rule, because we were wondering, like, zombies. We didn't know that was still a thing. Like that was.
It's the history of them making that movie. They flew by the seat of their pants throughout the production of it, and made something that still holds up. And he was able to kind of, against a lot of people's will, put in like a social conscious narrative into the story, like sneak it in, and it worked so well, and it still holds up.
So that was. So that's what. Let me see. I have one more, I think, somewhere. Oh no, I guess there's two more. Our next story is Stranger Things. I guess today or yesterday they released a teaser trailer for season 4, but the show will not be out until 2022. When I was reading in the original teaser trailer they put out, there's a scene where Dobbs is in this Russian, like a Russian prison camp, and I just want to know, is that how he became Red Guardian?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm excited for Stranger Things. I'm a big fan of that show. This is going to be the final season, isn't it? Like
I would hope so, because I mean they are like adults now. Like
I say, they're going to be older than me by the time this is over with. They're going to be like having like me, 2 kids in a house, and yeah.
I do think that it's been kind of a little bit of diminishing returns after the first season. I don't think they were able to quite recapture that, but I still enjoy it. Personally, I kind of wish that they had made it more of like they made Stranger Things more of like just like a brand, and made each season be like its own, like
kind of like they did with American Horror Stories. Yeah,
I wish they'd done something like that where they're all kind of like just straight. Everything's just Stranger Things. That's like paranormal, sci-fi. Keep it all retro if that's your brand, but.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, it's by the time it comes out, it'll have been like 2 years since season 3. So they're getting like in HBO territory now.
My previous comic book, The Scientists, was sort of had a lot of parallels to Stranger Things. So I tended to like reference that a lot in all of my promotion.
And the last thing news story I saw today was Neil Gaiman confirmed the filming of The Sandman season 1 is finished.
Nice.
So that's all in the can. All the other stuff. I'm just hoping that they don't screw it up.
I've never read Sandman. I've never really read much of anything by Neil Gaiman, to be honest.
I also like part of the thing they talked about. I don't know if you have. Audible or if you do any of that stuff, them in DC had made a Audible drama of Sandman, and I mean everybody's in that. I can't even name them all. And the second season they just announced some additional cast to this Act 2, I guess that. So it's very interesting. I mean, I know can't even think. It's. If they're a British actor, they're in that Sandman Audible thing. So anybody
I've heard it's well
done
too.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. But anyways, so I'm really hoping that Sandman comes out okay. It's been a long time. Gaiman's been trying to get that thing done as a movie. I don't know if it would work as a movie really, because it's just so much.
It's a big long story. So.
Yeah.
Seems like television these days is a better option.
Yeah, because you could tell more. I mean, even just if you go watch the Disney Plus shows, the Marvel Disney Plus shows, I just think that even though when you all together they seem like they're probably just as long as a movie, it just seems like because of the episodic thing they can kind of.
It used to be that it had to be a movie if you wanted to get those great production values and special effects, but that's not even the case anymore. TV has just as good of production and effects as anything you see in the movies these days.
Yeah. So, But anyways, that's our news for the night. And get into talking about these projects you guys are doing. Geoff is has Bug Hunt that is out on Kickstarter as we speak.
Yep. We're about halfway through right now.
Nice.
And can you just give everybody just a quick, like, your elevator pitch, as they call it?
Elevator pitch, sure. It's a sci-fi action comedy about a blue-collar space pest control worker named Blake Campbell, who mistakenly ends up on a space station being attacked by robot spiders. And his pest control skills might turn out to be the thing that helps save the day.
Nice. Sounds very interesting. I was checking it out earlier today, and I don't remember where I read it, but you had said something about Runaway, the old 80s Tom Selleck movie.
Yep.
And as I was just reading about robotic bugs, that was the first thing that popped into my head, because I loved that movie when I was younger. It probably does not hold up like most 80s movies don't.
Is that like the bullet that chases you?
Yeah. So the one part I always remember from that is like that under the car. There was like that. I just remember there was like a shot from under the car.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. I mean, it's been a long time since I watched that.
Gene Simmons is the bad guy.
Yeah, Gene Simmons was the bad guy, of course.
That cover for your book looks fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. Erwin Arosa painted the main cover, and I did the alternate cover.
Looks solid, man. Looks
I
really
just
good.
updated the page today, actually, with a sample of the animation, because I have an animated flip book that's a part of the campaign. So I've been working behind the scenes to get the animation ready, and I just finished it.
Awesome.
And Casey, you have a book that's going to be launching on Kickstarter. Voodoo Chile. Okay, I didn't know if it was Chile, Chile.
Like the Jimi Hendrix song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And music ties into this book a lot, in that while we were coming up with the initial concepts of the book, I made a playlist for Pete Woods, my artist, not Marvel's Pete Woods, but my Pete Woods. He lives in England. He's a good guy.
I was just talking to Pete today.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's a solid dude. And but I made him a playlist of music from the era in which the book is set. And it's not just, a lot of the R&B hits from back in the day. It's not just, Beatles or, the Beach Boys or whatever. But
so you're saying it's not the what the heck, the Forrest Gump soundtrack? No, the what's Good Morning Vietnam soundtrack.
Exactly. Well, case in point, the Stooges had one of their first albums on in the late '60s, and Search and Destroy was on one of their first albums, and just so happens that the title of the second issue, which is the book that's going on Kickstarter, is called Search and Destroy, which is an amazing song. It kicks ass. I'm sure maybe you heard it on Tony Hawk or something when you were a kid. I don't know. I never played video games, but we were poor. We didn't have money for video games.
Yeah. Well, I'm also an old man, so by the time they came out, I could buy my own.
Seems like anytime you do a Vietnam era period piece, you got to play "Fortunate Son" to set the.
Oh yeah. I tried to avoid that when I made the soundtrack, just because it's like, of course, that and like "Run Through the Jungle," all those good songs from Creedence. But my book is it's kind of a blend of genres. It's a voodoo zombie heist war comic, if you can make any sense out of that. It follows a guy named Max. He's a he's an American soldier in Vietnam. And it just so happens that Max has been chosen by the Loa, which is like the pantheon of the voodoo system. He's been chosen by one of the Loa to be the god of death. And he has to make a decision, like, am I going to go along with this? What is destiny? What is truth? Do I make my own decisions? And he's at that point in the, big old story circle where he is going, no, I'm refusing the call, like completely full stop. Screw you guys. I'm going home. And so he's doing that while also avoiding zombies and getting pinched by some of the higher ups for going AWOL. And also he just killed his best friend. So all of that is happening, and it's been a blast to write. It's been really fun to really see Pete like stretch his legs. And every time I send him a note in the script, like, is this too much? He doubles down. And we get into a lot of like body horror and gore. There's a guy in there who is basically like the zombie version of Mr. Bill from Saturday Night Live. And he takes a beating and keeps on coming for it. But we have a lot of fun.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm gonna have some questions for Geoff. Well, first, Casey, when does your Kickstarter start?
The 13th of this month. So in 6 days? So
next Friday.
We're rip roaring and ready to go. We have a very low entry for getting this book. And in addition to that, though, we have it so that not only can you get issue 2, but if you haven't read issue 1, you have the ability to order issue 1 as well.
Nice.
You can get it both physical and or digital. We have a ton of tiers. We can draw you in the book as a zombie if you want to be a zombie. I will kill the shit out of you in my book if you want me to. And sorry for language. But yeah, we're having a lot of fun. And man, so the last book we did, somebody was like, I don't want to be in the book personally, but can I put my cats in the book? And immediately I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with cats in the middle of Vietnam? And then I had an idea. And that cat's our cat now. That cat's staying in the book. I'm having so much fun with that stupid cat. And he's going to make an appearance in issue 2. And probably throughout the entire series. I can't kill a cat. You got to save the cat. That's the first rule of writing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
I read the second rule is if you show a gun in the first act, it has to be used before the third act.
Oh yeah, Chekhov's gun. Yes. And Chekhov's gun has already made an appearance in the form of little secret in the first book. There is a gift that Max gets from one of the Loa, and it's gonna play a part later on in the series. It's gonna be
the third rule is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Exactly.
Unless you're writing the Fight Club book, then you have to talk about Fight Club.
Yeah.
But so Jerry says zombies at the Old Torn State Mental Hospital would be a natural. That's funny you mentioned that because that's where I grew up. Not the mental hospital, but in the town of Torrance. And not the one that's in all the Stephen King stuff. But yeah, that's right where my house. We used to play in one of those buildings actually.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, it's still there, the mental hospital, but they had this where it originally was like just one building, and it was freaky in there. Let's put it that way. But anywho, Geoff, we're gonna hit on some of the things. I know I sent you some questions earlier in the week.
Yep.
I'm just gonna, on Bug Hunt, it's co-written with your friend, right? Trent Barrett. Trent Barrett. How did you two get connected?
He's a friend of mine from high school. We met in a creative writing class.
Nice.
And, hit it off right away.
Yeah, it's weird how that happens. Like it's kind of, you make that connection, and sometimes it lasts for a while. But when you're co-writing it, I know you said that how you would do it would make outlines, and if you had an idea for a scene, you would run with it if you had the idea. But how did you handle dialogue? did one of you, like, if you wrote that scene, you did the dialogue also, or was
Yeah.
that one?
And honestly, more often than not, Trent wrote more of the dialogue. He was really good at dialogue.
Yeah, I'm terrible at it. I come up with mine ends up being very cliche dialogue, and it's not the best.
Yeah, I was more of like big picture, like the story beats and that kind of thing, and he was more
fleshing it out.
Right?
Yeah. There was something else I wanted to ask. Oh, okay. Then also, I had asked you about some of the struggles, because if people don't know, Trent had passed away. Is that correct?
Yeah,
a while ago.
2000. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were going back to this project that you had started years ago, and then trying to go back in, and you had told me, like, just try to fill in those gaps and things, because it was a book that you wrote a long time ago. I'm trying to think of what I wanted to ask now. I have it written down here, but I can't read my own handwriting. How about that?
We started writing Bug Hunt when I was still in high school. He was 1 year ahead of me, so he'd already graduated. So this was 1997, and when I met him in that creative writing class, he was already writing screenplays. He'd written like 2 screenplays already with his older brother, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I wanted to get in on that. So I think that's when I just started like pitching him, we should do a screenplay, and this was in the mid '90s. So I was going through a phase where I was really into Bruce Campbell, like in the Evil Dead and Army of Darkness, and I was like just really wanting to see a like big Hollywood style sci-fi action movie starring Bruce Campbell. So I was like, well, I got to write one. Nice. So that was kind of where that came from, and so we started doing that, and he had like I said, I was still in high school, and he had already graduated and moved away. So like by kind of communicating over email and stuff, this was kind of like one of the ways that we were kind of like staying in touch. It was like by working virtually on this project. Nice.
So, and what hurdles did you have to overcome? Because you said you did start writing it such a long time ago, to try to write something for today's audience, and obviously you have probably grown as a writer and things since then. So to go back to a project from a lifetime ago, really, and to bring it
years ago, and just trying to remember where my head was at back then, and yeah, I have a whole lifetime's worth of experience. More time has elapsed since then than I was at the time. And, yeah. So more than twice, double the age now, and there's I in that time I've written a whole lot of stuff. I've published a 200-page graphic novel. I have a whole lot of experience in comics now. I've been making them for over 15 years now, and I'm just ready to sort of apply all the tools and ability that I've gained over that time to really hone in on this unfinished project and make something out of it, make something great. It's a challenge. Luckily for the first issue, the one that's on Kickstarter right now, that was pretty much all written. I just was mostly acting as like an editor of the existing material and refining it and trimming it and reshaping it as I saw was needed here and there. There wasn't any parts that I needed to just generate whole cloth out of thin air, but the script, as I mentioned, was just we only got about half of it written before we ran out of steam and moved on to other projects. So now going back to this in order to bring it across the finish line, and I'm hoping this is going to be a 5-part series. There's going to be a whole lot of unwritten scenes that I'm going to have to generate.
Nice. And what made you want to go back to this book? I mean, it being such a long time ago that you had started it.
Trent was the co-writer on the last graphic novel that I did, The Scientists, and I really felt that his voice and his writing was a really integral part to what made that one a success, or what made that resonate with people. So I kind of wanted to go back to that sort of comfort zone of working from something that had his voice on it. So that way, as I'm trying to come up with my new project, the audience that I built so far is going to feel that sort of sense of familiarity and be like, oh yeah, this has the thing about it that I liked in the previous one. So there's a little bit of continuity there.
Nice. And you said the previous book that you had worked on was called The Scientists. Is that correct?
The Scientists, correct. Yeah, that was sort of a sci-fi Goonies.
Oh, nice. That sounds fun.
A group of kids on their way to a national science fair. They're abducted and placed into some strange, mysterious experiment, and they have to use their intelligence and their wits to try to figure out a way out of it and see if along the way they can solve the mystery of who put them there and why.
And but for Bug
Cube,
I'm going to go ahead and you have the video for Bug Hunt. I'm going to go ahead and show that to everybody now. It's only about 30 seconds. And
sure.
Then we're going to go ahead and tackle the Kickstarter just to look over it real quick, show everybody where you're at, what some of the art from it, and go from there. So just give me a second, because I told everybody I've been doing this for 7 months. You'd think I would know. Well, now it's 8 months. You'd think I would know how to do this, but it still is weird for me. Oh, hold on. I guess I need to make that full screen first. Well, I guess I can't do that full screen. All right, I'm just talking to myself. Talk amongst yourself. Let me give you a topic. Okay. And now let me make it full screen.
And, turn on the sound.
Yeah, I'm going to. I didn't push play yet, so. Oh, you know what? I will figure this out, because I always forget that I have to hit that button before I. Oh my Lord, what am I doing? All right. This is why I need. No, I don't want. I want to remove it. Oh, I'm terrible at this. All right. Now we're going to try it again. Here we go. Hit the right button. Shh. Videos, and I need to share audio. There we go. All right. Now it's going to work this time. Full screen. Okay. I'm going to probably take us off the screen. Can we hear it?
I see the sound is X'd out. You got to click on
Oh, geez, Louise. All right, let's start over. There we go. One of these days, I'll get it right. All right. We're going to just put that on the screen by itself. And hit play.
Where are they, Dodger?
Where are they? They're everywhere.
Yeah, but I can't see them.
They're in there. Hiding.
They're close. I can hear them. Aha. Gotcha. Damn bugs. Bug hunt. Space pest control. Saving the day is just part of the job.
All right. Now it's just going to keep playing it over and over again until I can get in there.
That was rad.
There
Thank
we
you.
go.
Also, I gotta respect your attention to detail in the space HVAC unit that you have on the page. Oh my gosh, that was rad.
Yeah.
Doing the art, pulling in the art, doing all sorts of crazy details on the sci-fi backgrounds.
And the voiceover person, it was great. I love that voiceover guy. Whoever it was, they had the perfect deep voice for that. But let's go ahead and look at the Kickstarter. Let me make sure I'm at the top so we don't come in the middle somewhere. Okay. And make sure I'm on the right thing. Share the screen. Share the screen. There we go.
The panicky guy that he's talking to on the radio was me.
Oh. All right. So, we're what, $89 away from goal with 10 days to go.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So,
We're really close. I think we're like what, 95%.
yeah, it's got to be something there. I mean, it's only $89, so that's like nothing really. 10 days. It's like $9 a day, and you got it.
But I got a stretch goal, so
yeah. I love.
I got a stretch goal. At $3,000, we're gonna get a video game.
Oh,
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. So this is the main cover. I wish we could see the whole thing at once, but when I first seen this, it just gave me that I don't know, like the Star Wars movie posters. Whoever used to always do those. Like
Drew
that painted,
it's got a little bit of a Drew Struzan vibe there.
yeah, just that painted feel, and I like that. And who was the artist again?
Erwin Arosa did that. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. And this is, I guess, this is kind of like the video we saw, but it's in the printed form. But
Sure. Yeah, that's the first 2 pages of the comic. I'm doing the colors on this and the lettering. So, The Scientists was a black and white comic, so this is kind of my first attempt at coloring.
It looks great, man. It really you added a lot to it. It looks great.
Thank you.
We actually had my artist hated his colors on issue 1, so we reinvested all of our profits from issue 1 into having someone come in, redo those colors completely, and now we have them for the rest of the series.
Oh, nice.
It adds so much more to the book when you have somebody that is, knows what they're doing, is good at their job, and these look great.
Oh,
It's solid,
Yeah,
solid work.
Coloring's a critical part of.
yeah, I always, because as I tend to be a colorist. I always tell everybody if you don't have a colorist that's knows what they're doing, you're better off keeping it black and white, because if you get the wrong colorist, it can ruin it. Like,
Yeah, same thing with letters. It's things that you wouldn't expect that distract so much from the book if they're done poorly.
yes,
And if you have somebody that just slaps letters on, instead of actually going to somebody who does it professionally, it takes so much away from it. And yeah, it pays dividends.
I'm kind of the jack of all trades, master of none. So
It looks solid, man.
Oh, thank you. There's a line up there in the when you create weapons, to use concepts or actual weapons. I think Joe bases his drawings on actual weapons. I'd have to ask him though, but they look like pretty realistic, real world type weapons. But in the script, I always just refer to them as like sci-fi gadgets. I'm kind of vague about that.
yeah.
In
Like
the-
the artist kind of.
In the description up above, I was saying under Who Will Love Bug Con, I said if you always wanted to see Die Hard in Space starring Indiana Jones being attacked by the robots from Runaway, then
That's where I seen the Runaway thing. Yeah. Yes. Those great things. And then this is the variant cover that you did.
Yeah, I drew that.
I love the roach.
That's great.
That roach is like.
Yeah, my dad said it looked like a alien from Doctor Who.
It could be, yeah. I can see that. And then here's your creative team.
Yeah.
So Joe Wong's the artist, I take it.
Yeah, he's doing the interior art. That's right.
And then Erwin he's who did the cover, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And then I always mess up her name, but she's the letterist.
No, she's a flatter.
Flatter. I knew she does something. I talk to her all the time, and I get confused.
She's the famous flatter. I think she flats more comics than anybody.
She's fast too, so I always she asks me all the time, "Do you need somebody?" I'm like, if I could, I probably should because it would save me some time.
I heard some crazy number that she does like 200, 300 pages a month or something.
That's insane.
Whoa, that is
because
nuts.
flatting is what takes the longest when you're coloring.
Yeah, that's the most time intensive.
That's crazy.
You've got it down.
Yeah. I guess if I would have read that, I could have seen what they all do. So, I'm going to
If you scroll down a little further, you can see the animation.
Oh,
there it is.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Oh, there's one, and these are just add-ons and.
Those are all the different reward tiers. So you can get a digital version. The deluxe version is gives you a little bit of a peek behind the scenes. Joe and I have an interesting creative process where I do because I also have a comic art background. I'm drawing the layouts for him. So sort of following in like the steps of like the Keith Giffen model where Keith Giffen would script and layout for the artist.
Yeah. So a lot of that I noticed like I read a lot of X-Men stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there was a lot of times back there, like you'll see that those guys, even in the early Image days, like where, they would lay stuff out, like Rob Liefeld would just do the layouts or whatever, and someone else would come in and do the finishes, they would call them. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, Joe's doing a little bit more than just finishing now. He really brings it to life. But doing layouts does take me a little bit of time, and I didn't have everything ready when we started. I was kind of going page by page and handing it off to him as each page was ready, and he would actually finish his pages before I would have the next ones ready, and he'd be waiting on me. So it's probably the unusual situation where the artist is faster than the writer.
Yeah. And then it's the printed edition, like the.
Sure. You can get the scientists through this campaign as well if you missed that.
Oh.
And there's the version with the two covers, and that's the animated flip book. So that animation. It's going to be the actual, if you ever played with one of those old school flip books.
Yeah.
Then that's going to be one of the options. The Scientists was printed as like a hardcover.
Oh, how many page? Oh, I guess it's right there, 200 page.
Yeah, 200 page book for the Scientists.
Yeah. And how many pages is this first issue of Bug Hunt? I guess
Bug Hunt is 24 pages. Yeah, I also have offering a cameo in the book, so we got some different scenes where you can get drawn in.
That's always cool.
Be some in the background. And if you get a commission from me, you'll get a robot bug sent to you.
Awesome.
And then that's your executive producer. You get everything.
And you get your name on the title page as executive producer.
Come back over here. So that's I hate the way this play things cool. Because if you go over too far, you're into the pledges and all that crappy stuff. So we have, like I said, 10 days left. $89.
Mhm.
That's like nothing. That should be really nothing. So
I'm feeling confident about hitting the goal, but I really want to get that stretch goal because I think it'd be cool if everybody can get a video game.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would. I seen one other campaign where it was like a little 8-bit game.
Mhm.
But so I will make sure we share all that out, all your stuff, and for the next week, and try to get all that stuff out there. If someone else, they talking about Torrance. All the patients were released and settled in Blairsville. I graduated in '72. Actually, I live in Blairsville right now, so I don't know if you're still from the area, Jerry, or not. But that's where I live now, the great big town of Blairsville. So that's Bug Hunt, and it runs for 10 more days. I'm going to be checking that out for sure because it looks really interesting, and I'm a sci-fi guy, so interesting. So we'll move over here to Casey and your book. I'm going to Voodoo
Child.
Why do I keep wanting to say Chalet?
It's all good, man. So at first we so my artist, when he was conferring with the our logo designer about what the name was, he had a pint or two, and he added an extra L. And so we had this Voodoo Chile for a little while, and we were kind of like, let's just roll with it. Who cares? And one of our good friends, who is the one of the head guys at Titan, which is I think it's an arm of Forbidden Planet. It's like their merchandising arm.
Yeah.
He was like, no, like full stop. Change the logo. Stop everything you can right now. Change that logo because people are not going to know what the hell you're talking about. And they're going to think your book's about a restaurant or something.
Or really hot chili.
Yeah, exactly. So we changed the logo, and I'm happy with it. And now we're on book 2 of 5. So
when I was in high school, my band did a cover of Voodoo Chile.
Man, it still holds up. Still holds up.
All right, so I have to get my brain going the right direction here for a minute. So you said your campaign kicks off next Friday.
That's correct. The 13th.
Friday 13th, perfect day for a
Yes.
Voodoo book, right? Was that planned? Was that
it didn't not pique our interest when we found out, when we were kind of getting ideas for days to drop it. So
I'm just trying to.
This is a relaunch, right?
Yes. Our initial idea was to drop it on the 13th of August, and then Pete thought that we were ready. We started off, and then just the trajectory that we were going, we realized that we probably wouldn't be able to make it with like a week and a half left. So because we had planned initially for a much larger goal, just to see what we could do.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't, I don't think it was in the cards. So we're starting with a much smaller goal now of $1,000, and which was, I think, our initial goal on the first campaign, which we completely covered in 12 hours. And so we're hoping for a repeat of that in issue 2. So I'm ready to go. Ready to get this done.
And Pete Woods, as we said, not Marvel's Pete Woods, is your artist on the book.
He is, yes.
How did you two get connected? Because that's always, I know, I belong to many a forums, and you always have these writers crying about how to get connected to artists.
Oh yeah, and they bitch and moan, but like you have to get out there. You have to talk to people. I help run a group called the Comic Jam. I didn't start it. I kind of lucked into joining it, and then I kind of helped give it a little bit of direction when it needed it. And now it's basically an online workshop. We get people from all areas of the field who want to make comics. We pair writers with artists, and we know how work intensive creating comics can be. We don't want to put everything on the artist, because when you are committed to making a story, you're locked in. The artist has all that weight on their shoulders. So what we do is we do one-page stories. We teach you how to collaborate. We get people for you to collaborate with, and we get you to write about different things. Each week we vote on a theme, and then the writers have a week to write a one-page script about it. Writing one page is a lot harder than you would think, because you have to learn how to cut the fat. You have to cut the bullshit. That goes with comics, full stop, like all around. You have to learn how to show and not tell. You can't be too didactic. You have to allow the artist the freedom to express the work on the page, rather than you have 80 billion word balloons on a page. That's what the Comic Jam's about. It's about teaching you how to do the craft, perfecting your craft, helping people meet each other so that they can do their craft with you. And we've had a lot of people come out of there and do their own successful projects. Voodoo Chile is really my first project outside of the Jam. And Pete, I met him through the Jam. His art was so polished that when he told me he wanted to join the Jam, I thought he was pulling my leg. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever, dude. But he came on, he did a few pages with us, and then a few months later he said, hey, would you like to do an extended project with me? And again, I thought he was having me on, but I sent him a few pitches, and Voodoo Chile was the one that we decided to go with. And it's been a lot of fun doing this with Pete, and he's so invested and so ready to toss ideas around with you. It's fun when you're collaborating with a friend and with somebody that is as emotionally invested and as jazzed about the story as you are. Because if that connection's not there, then what are you even doing?
Yeah.
So that was a very long answer. I
I
didn't tell you my mother's maiden name or my first dog, so I guess we're doing good.
Yeah. Well, you actually covered what my follow-up question was going to be from earlier, because I was going to ask what the Comic Jam was. You had mentioned it.
It's a great group. If anybody listening, watching is interested in joining, by all means, find us on Instagram, is at the Comic Jam, also on Twitter, and also on Facebook. Hit us up, talk to us. Go to www. Of course, you guys already know that. Why am I expressing that?
HTML.
Exactly. // So, thecomicjam.com. And that's where we post up all of the final work. And we talk to each other over Discord, and we use the Google Drive to store all of our files. It's just a fun community. We goof off and talk shit, but the main thing we do is we make comics, and it's just do my best to curate a good group of people. If somebody is in the chat that is not a cool person, and by that I mean somebody who's just a jerk or whatever, they're out. I don't want people feeling uncomfortable in my group. I don't want people feeling like they don't have a voice in my group. And I don't know. I feel really responsible for the direction it goes. I'm so proud of what everybody's doing in the group.
And you had mentioned that this Voodoo shut. I can't say it.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
But anyways, you said this is your first project, right? Child. I can't.
Yeah.
I want to say child, though. That's why I'm like, it's not child, and then it messes me up. But you said this is your first project. Have you done anything else in the comic industry?
Well, so I've done stuff with a project called the Eins Anthology. I edited that. And
I remember that.
Helped get. Yeah, I think you did some work with it.
I did do some work.
Yeah, it looked really good. It helped it get off the ground, and there's still plans for book 2 of the series, but it's a long, slow train, and but it's gonna happen. I also do interviews for Spoiler Country, which is another podcast that just another group of dudes with beards talking about comics. But
Geoff needs to get on the memo.
Yeah, Geoff, man, come on and talk on the.
Talk to my wife about that. Beard fan.
But yeah, we interview people in TV and film, comics. We talked to just tonight. We recently talked to an actress that was in the new Black Widow film, who was also in Altered Carbon and a few other shows.
I love Altered Carbon.
Yeah, that show's rad. But yeah, we talked to people all across the nerd spectrum, really, and we even talked to people like Ed Asner and Bruce Valanche. I got to talk to Bruce Valanche, and we spent. I felt bad because we spent a lot of time talking about his time working in the stage production of what is it? Hairspray, and so yeah, he got to tell me all the dirt about the Hairspray cast and working in Baltimore and how crazy Baltimore was. And then he told me about his time working on Hollywood Squares, which was great. And the time he met LeVar Burton while he was in the middle of his Roots fame. So it was just a lot of fun.
Before he put the banana clip on his face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's crazy because living in Birmingham, Alabama, you feel really isolated from the rest of the world. I actually live about 30 minutes outside of Birmingham. I pass cows and all kinds of other stuff on the way to my house, so I'm not anywhere near a city. Growing up, I thought that comics and the entertainment industry at large was something that was unavailable to me just by virtue of not being there. You kind of have to be in Hollywood. You kind of have to be in New York. You have to be in some of those places to get seen and to make stuff like that. But no, that's bullshit. You have the internet now.
Yeah.
Get out there and
I can tell you some stories.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really fun getting to talk to these people that, I'm sure they won't remember me, but I'll remember them. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had the chance back in 92, 93. I got to fly out to California, out to the then Homage Studios, which would later become Wildstorm. Nice. And then I had to turn down the job because my girlfriend was back here and she was pregnant, and I didn't think it would be smart of me to move to California while she's a teenager and getting ready to have a child.
Oh, yeah.
So, So I didn't take that, and now I kick myself all the time. because everybody, I think, that practically worked for them. A lot of those image guys, even like the ones that weren't the best at that time in the 90s, are still working in the industry somewhere.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, oh man. But so I get that. But I'm sorry, I got something that wants to come out, but I ain't gonna. Maybe it's a chest popper or something. But okay, so Voodoo Chile comes out next Friday.
Good job. Yes, next Friday.
And you'll have a catch-up tier for people like me who missed the first run of that. Just what's the inspiration behind this? I'm always interested in, like, where did these stories come from? Because I myself am a comic creator like you two guys, and it's just interesting to where these stories come from.
So it kind of came from a lot of places. I kind of a nerd in that I like to read folklore and stuff like that, and reading about the basically studying syncretism and looking into like syncretic religions, reading about voodoo, reading about all the backstory and all the things that it took to make, to coalesce into this one thing, has always fascinated me. I also kind of, I got curious one day on a comic for the Comic Jam about what these Loa, these gods from the voodoo religion, would think about how things are now and about the people that they served. Because I remember at the time there was a massive earthquake in Haiti, and it was heartbreaking seeing all the destruction and just thinking about the people there. And so that was one thing that played into it. And then another, when I grew up, I would go up to North Carolina over the summers with my grandparents, and the woman across the street was a voodoo priestess. And I was she was the sweetest lady ever. Really, really nice, old as dirt. And I remember my mom was always kind of like freaked out because she'd heard the lady's reputation. My grandma, though, was thought she was the nicest thing ever, and we'd go over there and play with her grandkids. And one day this lady, to kind of, I don't know, like lend an olive branch to my mom, gave her a gree bag, which is a kind of like a prayer bag. And it's part of like the voodoo religion, and she's had it ever since. She's had it like stuffed away in a sock drawer, but she still has it. So yeah, that stuff like that's always fascinated me. And then I've always been like a history buff, so Vietnam War, stuff like that has always held my attention.
That's cool.
Also, I too do everything I can to eschew any responsibility I have. So just like, nope.
Cool. Whenever you actually get the link for the campaign, make sure you give it to me so I can share that out with everybody.
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
And, I have marked to remind me, but sometimes I never check my emails. I'm terrible at checking emails. I don't know why.
If you would like, I can kind of read you off what we have planned in the campaign.
Yeah, that would be great. So
So Voodoo Chile Search and Destroy is a unique homage to classic Vertigo comics such as The Sandman, 100 Bullets, Preacher, and Unknown Soldier. The comic is filled with war, horror, zombies, and voodoo and mystical elements. The story picks up right after the conclusion to issue 1, which was successfully funded through Kickstarter earlier this year, which is also available through this funding campaign. So you guys keep that in mind. If you missed issue 1, you can always get it back through this campaign. So in issue 1, Vietnam grunt Max Bookman found himself knee-deep in trouble. Not only was Max wrapped up in a plot to uncover a drug smuggling operation, but also Baron Samedi, the voodoo deity of death, wanted to use Max for a currently unknown nefarious purpose. Added to this, Max accidentally killed his best friend London and turned him into a dispossessed spirit. Issue 2 continues Max's story as we continue the story of Voodoo Chile. How is Max tied to Samedi? Can London find a body and a cup of tea? What is Samedi really up to? Find out in Voodoo Chile, search and destroy. So you guys, I mean, come on. That sounds rad. The opportunity to lay your hands on Voodoo Chile issues 1 and 2, that's part of the campaign. Full color 24-page American standard size comic printed on 200 GSM paper and blah, 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 gloss cover. Shipping is available worldwide. And on the team, we have Pete Woods. We have Wilson Anthony Go, who is our colorist. This dude is a freaking rock star. He is awesome. Our cover for the book is done by John Charles, who not only does he do an amazing job for us, he's also done stuff for 2000 AD, Antarctic Press, IDW, and Panini UK. He has a book right now out that just came out this month called Techno Freak, and it's really freaking awesome. And our letterer is SK, and SK is an Australian creative who's been pulled into the world of fonts. So really good folks, and we really had a blast doing this. We haven't had any creative hiccups or anything like that. Pete and I are like besties, and I swear, like we'll be talking to each other and giggling like schoolgirls over shit. So this time we have several variant covers. We have Steve Austin variant, Pete L. Woods variant, Paul Fry
Stone Cold
variant.
Steve Austin did a cover for you?
I know. I wish. Stephen Austin, he comes to your house, cracks open a beer, and then gives you the comic. That's the type of service we're giving.
Well, first
you guys.
he breaks your glass.
Exactly. Paul Fry, Chris Askham, and then Brian Dawson. And we have another variant that's going to be revealed in the coming days, and oh my gosh, it's amazing. The art bundle is a reward that comes with it, so if you want to get a piece of art from the book, you get that reward. We can zombify you, and in the on the website shows a picture of my beautiful wife who in the zombification process somehow got a screwdriver through her head. She doesn't normally look like that, but
I hope not.
Yeah. And we have a lot of other goodies that we're planning on doing, like postcards and maybe even like a cool patch and stuff like that. And if you join within the first 24 hours, you get a shit ton of comics. I'm talking like stacked up stack of comics by all these amazing creators, and it's only if you go within the first 24 hours of the campaign. So we have add-ons, all kinds of other fun stuff. We're planning to get our funding, if it funds, which you guys, early September, and by early September the lettering and final design is going to be done. By mid-September, the digital version will be sent. Late September, art will be sent to the printers. Mid-October, we will we'll be starting to get everything ready to ship out. You guys should have it by late November. That's the goal. And we had a really good turnaround time with issue 1. Pete is a stickler for stuff like that. We don't want to get it out unless it's done. And all the principal art on it is done. Right now, all we really need is money to pay our letter, pay our colors, and get this shit printed and get it in your hands. Right now, shipping, Geoff, I'm sure you know, shipping is crazy, especially with COVID, especially with Brexit. Having done this book with a British person, Pete has done nothing but curse his government because Brexit has thrown a wrench into everything. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Geoff, are you shipping out to overseas or anything like that?
I am. One of my commission backers is in Spain.
Oh, nice.
Italy.
Yeah, if you ship to the UK, just be prepared for a lot of craziness.
And you guys, I have an announcement to make.
Uh-oh. Did you get funded?
We are funded.
There
Nice.
we go. Let me I gotta refresh here. Let me see. There we are. Woo-hoo.
Beautiful.
We're at 2010. So we got funded and still have 10 days to go. That's great.
That's rad.
Nice. So now we got to work on getting that extra $900 so we can get those stretch goals, right? In 10 days.
So I can hire an editor and I can get the game.
There you go.
Nice.
Stuart asked, with the great stories and great artwork, should newer artists start off, I guess, with digital and move to print, or the other way around?
Are they talking about working in digital, or are they talking about publishing?
I think he means publishing, because that's what I mean. Because you start like
there's definitely a lower barrier to entry if you are publishing digital.
Yeah.
Also, though, I think there will always be a world in which like the tactile feel of a physical copy is, I mean, it's just good. And I mean, you could take it and like put some candles on and read in the bath.
Yeah, he said yes.
Listening to Barry Manilow or whatever.
He clarified, yes, publishing. Yeah, no, I've known some very successful creators who didn't have a huge audience, but wanted to kickstart a project and maybe raise a little money. And they did an all digital Kickstarter, which, you know, if you don't necessarily have enough audience, big enough audience to
do a print
fund, a digital one is a great way to go because it's no postage.
Yeah.
No printing costs.
Pretty much, you know, minus the, you know, the processing fee, you get to pretty much all goes to you.
Yeah, my only problem, because I back a lot of Kickstarters, and I try to get physical copies whenever I can, because 9 chances out of 10, if I get a digital copy, it'll sit on my computer and I'll forget about it. It's how it happens, because for some reason I can't download them to my tablet, and that's where I read all my digital stuff. And
I can't use that as an excuse because I'm way behind in my reading of my printed and my digital stuff.
Yeah, start off bad speller. See, I couldn't even spell spellers. Come on, Stuart.
I have a ton of unread stuff that I'm behind on.
Yeah, well, I have a stack. I mean, I don't even want to look at it. This Kickstarter stack of stuff. I mean, this is just from one Kickstarter that I backed.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like a whole catch-up thing. Like, from going like, when did this one come out? Like in the early 2000s or something. Yeah. So I got to go all the way back, and then this stack is like, oh my lord, I can't even lift it up. This is just like the stuff I've got in like the recent weeks that I've just laid on my pile over here that I'm trying to go through and do reviews for. So eventually I'll get through that stack.
I'm going to read this one tonight. This one is one I just backed that just came in the mail. It says Attaboy.
Oh, Attaboy.
Nice.
I do remember seeing that.
I like that logo. That's cool.
It's Tony McMillan. He's the creator who did my favorite comic of last year, Serious Creatures.
Yeah. All right.
Stuart Microgreens. He just asked what publishing company should a new artist use. Shop around.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people use Kablam, but if you're savvy and you call enough people, you will find.
Is he asking about publishers or is he asking about printers?
I think printing is what he probably means, because I mean, I use Kablam, but I think Kablam's a good one, like when you just start out, because
it depends on how many.
It's user friendly for sure.
Yeah.
If you're just printing a handful, Kablam is pretty good. If you're doing a lot, you might want to look at some other ones. If you're doing like 1,000 or more, maybe Print Ninja.
Yeah.
If you're doing like 100 or less, there's maybe cheaper.
Yeah. Because like I said, I've always used Kablam. I think because when I started, that was really the only print-on-demand place, and then they also had Indie Planet, where you can just sell your digital, well, even print on demand stuff straight from the website, so I don't have to like make my own store or anything. But, I know there's a lot of different places.
I actually started with Comics Press. They're no longer around. Do you remember Comics Press?
Yes.
They were similar to Kablam. They were like, I think, the first like major comics focused print on demand company.
Yeah. So all right. I just got one final question for everybody, and then we're going to end the night. Because enough of my phone. I keep these little questions on my phone. Okay. So, what is your favorite portrayal of a superhero in a live-action movie or television series?
Favorite portrayal of a superhero. Okay. Do you have one that you have in your ready to go, Casey? Or
So like it changes. I think Marvel's been doing it right. However, I just recently started watching the new the Suicide Squad, and not superheroes per se, but what I've seen so far has been good. I think James Gunn has nailed at least the first 30 minutes of the movie. I'm really happy with what Disney Plus has been doing with their TV shows, because they've really given those characters a lot of room to breathe. And
they're characters that weren't like focused on in the movies.
Exactly, and able to show the humanity of those characters, and that's something that this, silly coming from a show that's ostensibly about a god, but Loki, it really got into the humanity of the character, and a lot of what is his destiny? Is he who everyone says he is, or can he grow? And that's always kind of fun to see, and fun to see the actor just kind of take those roles and bite into it. So, Geoff, you got one?
I have a comics inspired movie. I'd probably go with The Matrix, but if we're talking like comic adaptation, of the Marvel, I really like the Marvel ones. I think my favorite was probably Doctor Strange. I really liked like how kind of like trippy and mind-bendy all the.
That's a movie I need to go back and watch.
Yeah, I haven't. I watched it when it first came out, and I haven't like gone back.
I wish I had seen it in 3D when I was in the theaters.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. I'm ready for the second movie of that to come out. See, when I watched the first one, my days start at 4. So it was at the end of a very long day, and I fell asleep like midway through, and I never got around to finishing it. So I need to go back and watch
Sam Raimi is directing
the second one.
The new one, and I already mentioned I'm a big Evil Dead fan, so I'm looking forward to it.
I so hope that he shows up.
So Sam Raimi directing the sequel to my favorite Marvel character movie.
There you go. Wow.
I'm there.
Okay, well, think that about that. I remember I asked each of you one last question on the interview, and I just want for someone starting out. I know Stuart, he's a friend of mine from high school, and his daughter has been on the show. She's I can always mess with this word. She is an aspiring creator. She's a 17-year-old with, I can't think. My brain fart. But anyways, so what advice do you give to someone who's just starting out or aspiring to be a comic book creator in today's comic book community? Autism. See, I knew he would answer me.
That can actually be a strength. Sometimes that very, very focused interest can really let you hone your piece.
But for anyone like a younger person who wants to get in, or even older. I mean, I was in my 40s when I started doing this like as a real thing. So what I would say is shut up and do it. Everybody has good ideas.
It's actually putting those good ideas into practice and doing the work. Until then, you're only spewing out hot air. You're not going to make a comic unless you actually go into the process of making a comic. Yeah, we get a ton of people just through the Comic Jam, www.thecomicjam.com, that want to talk about writing a comic and want other people to do their comic for them. And I have to run those people off. I have to say, hey, you're either going to write it or draw it, but you can't entice other people to do your work. Nobody is going to love your idea more than you do. So, you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in the project. Do that hard work. And when somebody sees you doing that hard work, they're going to want to help you. If your artist sees you going full bore into a comic and in the script, they're going to see that you're committed. Artists do not want to be played with. They do not want to get they don't want to hear BS. They have so much, their job is so work intensive. Unless you give them the attention that they're going to give it, then you could just kick rocks, dude. So yeah, get in there and do the work and learn as much as you can. She's 17. She has all the time in the world to figure this out and make something amazing. So yeah, I'm stoked for this kid, whoever it is. Go in there, learn everything you can. You have literally the world at your fingertips. Do everything you can to learn, and then put it into practice, and you'll make something. You'll surprise the shit out of yourself. Yeah. So,
I would say don't try to do everything yourself. I learned that the hard way.
I know that one.
On the Scientist, I was kind of a one-man band, and it took me 15 years to make that. So, much better off if you can hire some people that, and I use the word hire. Don't try to get volunteers. Hire them, give them, pay them a fair wage, and you'll get an amazing product in a reasonable amount of time. Her and her two friends. So they're all autistic, and they all love making comics perfect. If you got a team of people, I think comics works great as a collaborative team effort where you can have some division of labor. Different people handling different areas. Different people can kind of focus in on what they're interested in and what their strengths are. If one person's good at the writing, one person's good at the the drawing. So they're creating that perfect. Well, if they got it, it sounds like they're already on it. They're already doing it. So so then the next step is to start putting it out into the world. Put it online.
I expect to see him on the show.
Build up your followers. You can make a web comic. Webtoons is a popular one, although their formatting is a little different than like a print comic. The Webtoons formatting is kind of like those long scrolling pages.
Well, I put some stuff on Webtoons, and I'm able to just drop my pages, and it kind of...
Yeah, you can do it, but sometimes you might have to do a little bit of paste.
But if you want to be popular, you just do it like where it's one panel, each thing's a panel.
Yeah, they encourage you to make it so that you can like read it on your phone.
Yeah.
But that's what I would say. Start putting it online, Webtoons. Start posting your art on Instagram and building up your followers. And then when you have enough followers,
DeviantArt.
Start. Create a little email list. Create a MailChimp account and tell everybody, hey, if you like what I do, join my mailing list and start sending out monthly newsletters. And when you have, when you got 50 people that aren't your family on there, you're ready for Kickstarter.
Yeah, that aren't your family. I think I have 150 on mine, and none of them are family. So there we go.
Well, you can get your family. Your family will be there for you, and your friends will be there, and then you get a few people that came in off the street and just liked your stuff.
All right. Well, I think that is a good place to end. Just if we can just let everyone know where they can find you on the great interwebs.
Sure. Okay.
Go ahead, Geoff.
So you can find me. My website is HTML ...
// www.
scientistscomic.com. So scientists plural comic.com. From there you can find my mailing list, my online store. You can get my previous comic. I got a link to the Kickstarter there. It's all there. Scientistscomic.com.
All right. All right, Geoff, thank you for coming onto the Hangout tonight. Great that we could get you funded while you're on the show and work for that
Yeah,
stretch
congratulations, man.
Thank you.
So, and welcome to come back anytime. We like to just hang out, have some fun, and have a good night. So thanks for coming by. All right, Casey. Tell the world where they can find this great Voodoo Chile.
Voodoo Chile is you can find us on Instagram under the Voodoo Chile. You can find us on Twitter under the Voodoo Chile. You can find us on Facebook under the Voodoo Chile. But the thing we really want you to find us on is Kickstarter. So keep in mind, Kickstarter kicks off on the 13th of this month. It's going to be a blast. I hope you guys really enjoy the story.
What time are you launching on the 13th? Just
that I don't know. Pete is like 6 hours ahead of me. I forget what he decided to put it up, but I will send you guys a link as soon as it goes live. Yeah, Voodoo Chile. Look us up on Twitter. If you want to tell me how bad I suck and how stupid I look, I'm on Twitter at Robots Eat Guitar.
Robots Eat Guitar?
SEATGUITAR. Yes, Robots Eat Guitar. I basically yell about local politics to people and talk about comics. So if I'm sure you're only interested in half of that, and that's completely cool with me. But do follow Voodoo Chile, do help support the Kickstarter, and dude, thanks so much for having us on.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for coming by. I'm glad we figured out your problems there at the beginning and were able to get you on.
I don't know what it is. My internet was being wonky, but dude, thanks again. Thanks for hanging with me.
Oh, you're welcome. And if you want to come back after you launch during the campaign, you're more than welcome. We can go ahead and look over that and let people see what's going on. So
I'll hit you up, man.
All right, thanks. Thanks for stopping by.
Take it easy, brother. Y'all have a good one. And hey, to the dad who is talking about his daughter learning how to do comics, good luck and keep her inspired. And you're doing a great job. So I really respect people that are trying to foment a love of something in their kids. I have 2 kids of my own, and right now I've been helping my daughter build cosplay stuff because that's the thing that she likes.
That's another thing.
Something that I have no idea about, but I'm learning. We're watching YouTube videos. We're doing all kinds of other shit, and it's fun. So I'm spending time with my kid. But
all right, well,
that'll be good.
All right, good night.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye. All right. Well, there's another show in the books. We're cutting off right at the 1.5 hour, which is where I wanted to be. Try to get down from the 3-hour shows. Hopefully Katrina will be back with us next week. But who knows? But anyways, thanks for stopping by the Hooligan Alley Hangout. Be sure to join us next week. And as I tell you, make sure you get out there and check these Kickstarters. If your conventions have started back up, make sure you go and look at some of those, support the creators there. Spend a couple dollars because it's awesome. Whenever you support local any of these creators on Kickstarter, on Indiegogo, you get more comics. That's just how it works. So this is JW Sims signing off for the night. Have a good weekend. Be safe and read some comics. Good night.